February 7, 2026. Florida tests bread for glyphosate. What they found is disturbing. But first, a disclaimer. This video is for informational and educational purposes only. I am not a medical professional, and this is not medical advice. All sources used are publicly available and linked in the video description. As always, do your own research so you can make informed decisions. Last week, the Florida Department of Health tested 46 different candies, and what they found was alarming. Only 10 of them didn't show arsenic in the candy. This week they tested bread. Let's see what the results are. Nature's own butter bread. Pesticide contaminant glyphosate, 190.23. Nature's own perfectly crafted white. Pesticide contaminant glyphosate, 132.34. Dave's Killer Bread White done right. Pesticide contaminant glyphosate, 11.85. Dave's Killer Bread 21 whole grain. Pesticide contaminant glyphosate, 10.38. Wonder Bread Classic White. Pesticide contaminant glyphosate, 173.19. Sara Lee Honey Wheat. Pesticide contaminant glyphosate, 191.04. Sara Lee Artesano White. Pesticide contaminant glyphosate, nothing showed up. Pepperidge Farm Farmhouse Hardy White. Pesticide contaminant glyphosate, nothing showed up. Out of 8 brands of bread, only 2 showed no results in the amount of glyphosate. First Lady Casey DeSantis said, the Healthy Florida First initiative is taking proactive steps to strengthen food safety standards nationwide. State Surgeon General Dr. Joseph A. Ladapo said, bread is a staple food for many Florida families, and they should be able to consume it without worrying about toxins. Our testing found high levels of glyphosate in some popular bread brands. Chronic exposure to glyphosate is linked to harmful gut microbiome changes, liver inflammation, and adverse neurologic effects. Florida is taking action through transparency, continued testing, and a clear focus on reducing exposure to protect families. It would have been nice if they would have tested more breads, like the cheaper ones that many people buy because it fits their budget better. Store brands such as Great Value, Surefine, and other brands sold in grocery stores. Maybe they will later on. Is glyphosate good or bad for you? Glyphosate is in Roundup, and it is a powerful herbicide designed to kill weeds. Yet, the regulatory agencies have determined that certain levels are considered acceptable. So why isn't glyphosate listed in the ingredient list? In an article posted by the Public Health, titled, International Study Reveals Glyphosate Weed Killers Cause Multiple Types of Cancer, they had this to say. A comprehensive carcinogenicity study on the world's most used herbicide, glyphosate, involving scientists from Europe and the US, has found that low doses of the controversial weed killer cause multiple types of cancer in rats. People eat bread almost every day and even several times a day. It is used for sandwiches, toast, as a side dish, or to slather peanut butter and jelly on it, just to name a few. However, how healthy is it for you? It depends on who you ask. The EPA say they have found no evidence that glyphosate causes cancer in humans. The EPA and several other countries' reviews have concluded it is not a carcinogen. However, the IRC's classification is based on evidence of cancer in animals and limited evidence of cancer in humans. But why do they think that a poison that kills weeds is something we should have in our food? Let's check out some studies done by professionals. According to the website, publichealth.gmu.edu, they have startling evidence that glyphosate is far from being safe to ingest. In a 2-year study where rats were given glyphosate in drinking water, beginning in prenatal life, at doses of 0.5, 5, and 50 milligrams per kilogram body weight/day. These doses are currently considered safe by regulatory agencies and correspond to the EU Acceptable Daily Intake (ADI) and the EU's No Observed Adverse Effect Level (NOAEL) for glyphosate. Here is what they found out. In all 3 treatment groups, increased incidences of benign and malignant tumors at multiple anatomic sites were observed compared to controls. These tumors arose in hemolymphraticular tissues, leukemia, skin, liver, thyroid, nervous system, ovary, mammary gland, adrenal glands, kidney, urinary bladder, bone, endocrine pancreas, uterus and spleen, hemangiosarcoma. Increased incidences occurred in both sexes. Most of these involve tumors that are rare in Sprague Dawley rats, background incidence less than 1%, with 40% of leukemia's deaths in the treated groups occurring in early life, and increased early deaths were also observed for other solid tumors. Dr. Daniele Mandrioli, director of the Cesare Maltoni Cancer Research Center of the Ramazzini Institute and principal investigator of the study, had this to say: "We observed early onset and early mortality for a number of rare malignant cancers, including leukemia, liver, ovary, and nervous system tumors. Notably, approximately half of the deaths from leukemia seen in the glyphosate and GBH's treatment groups occurred at less than 1 year of age, comparable to less than 35 to 40 years of age in humans. By contrast, no case of leukemia was observed in the first year of age in more than 1,600 Sprague Dawley historical controls in carcinogenicity studies conducted by the Ramazzini Institute and the National Toxicology Program, NTP. According to the Springer Nature link, there is this. Glyphosate and GBHs at exposure levels corresponding to the EU-ADI and the EU-NOEL caused dose-related increases in incidence of multiple benign and malignant tumors in SD rats of both sexes. Early life onset and mortality were observed for multiple tumors. These results provide robust evidence supporting IRC's conclusion that there is sufficient evidence of carcinogenicity of glyphosate in experimental animals. Furthermore, our data are consistent with epidemiological evidence on the carcinogenicity of glyphosate and GBHs. The Truth on Glyphosate, brand name Roundup, came out. In an article posted on December 25, 2025 from the Science Alert website, a controversial scientific paper that claimed the weed killer glyphosate, brand name Roundup, does not pose a health risk to humans has been formally retracted 25 years after publication due to serious ethical concerns around industry manipulation. The decision comes 8 years after a 2017 court case found that employees of the chemical company Monsanto were involved in ghostwriting the herbicide's safety evaluation. My thoughts on this. They always say to watch the money trail. Who is paying the most for lobbying? Why do we continue to allow this to happen and to be treated like lab rats without our consent? There should be more transparency on the things that are really in our food. We need to take a stand so our food, water, and air get cleaned up. No more chemicals. Did you know that glyphosate was introduced in the 1970s by Monsanto, and they, along with the owner of Bayer, continually tell us that it does not pose a health risk? Most of you are already familiar with the name Monsanto and Bayer, and neither of them fills me with a feeling of trust that they have our best interests in hand. Also, glyphosate is also used as a desiccation agent on wheat and other non-GM crops before harvest. That means it could potentially leave the wheat with higher residues of glyphosate in the grain. Maybe the best thing to do is to buy your own flour and make bread at home. But not the flour you find in the grocery stores. Instead, there are stone-milled flour out there that leaves the whole grain. They slowly grind it up between 2 grinding stones, leaving the bran and germ. All the essential nutrients are left in the grain. Commercial flour has the bran and germ removed. They've stripped away essential nutrients including dietary fiber, B vitamins, thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, folic acid, iron, and minerals like magnesium, zinc, and copper. Then they replace those natural nutrients with man-made ingredients. The key losses are over half of the B vitamins, 90% vitamin E, and almost all the fiber are lost during the processing. I will include the links to my findings and links to stone-milled flour in the description. I post clear food safety updates so you can stay informed. Follow, subscribe, and comment to stay updated. God bless, and keep you safe.